Whatever you can see on the screen now is the marking criteria for the speaking exam. This is what I explained in the last session. We have 4 different marking criteria: fluency and coherence, pronunciation, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Can you see the screen? Good. Do you remember the table? Good. So let me show you how it is done. My lovely, beloved students, I'm speaking to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is going to be the examiner. It's not the best examiner, but not bad, okay? It's gonna be roughly for 13 minutes. I'm not gonna comment. I'm gonna play it without me stopping it. I want you to pay attention. So please pay full attention to this video. I'm not gonna pause. And read the subtitles, okay? Please. Listen. What I want you to do today is I want you to act as an IELTS speaking examiner. Can you do this?
Absolutely, I can do that. All right, let's get started. Can you please tell me your full name?
My name is Nathan Smith.
Thank you, Nathan. May I see your passport, please?
Yeah, sure. Here you are.
Thank you. Let's start with part 1. Where is your hometown?
I'm from Maroubra, which is an eastern suburb of Sydney. It's a lively area, best known for Maroubra Beach, which is one of the most popular surf beaches in Sydney. It attracts a lot of surfers from all over Sydney.
That sounds lovely. What do you like most about your hometown?
There are a few things that I like about Maroubra actually, but what I like the most is definitely the beach and the strong surf culture it has. Unlike some of the other more popular and touristy beaches in Sydney, Maroubra Beach has a quieter and less crowded feel, which I really enjoy.
It sounds like a great place to relax. Has your hometown changed much in recent years?
Well, Maroubra itself, where I live, has not changed much, but Sydney as a city has definitely changed a lot over the past 10 to 20 years, especially in terms of construction. Sorry, especially in terms of construction, which I notice a lot since it's my field. And the faster the city grows, the harder it is to recognize certain areas. In the past few years, there's been a lot of new high-end apartments and major upgrades to the public transportation system, which makes things a little bit more crowded and gets annoying sometimes.
It must be interesting to witness that growth. What do you do for work?
Work, well, as I mentioned earlier, I work in the construction industry, the construction business, and I work as a site engineer for a big construction firm. We build everything from high rises to fancy hotels, both in the city center and also in the surrounding suburbs.
That sounds like a demanding job. What does your job involve?
Ah, don't get me started. I handle a bit of everything actually, but my main focus is quality control. Now, I make sure everything meets the right standards while also keeping an eye on site safety. It is a tough, demanding job, as you said, but it's really rewarding at the same time.
It definitely sounds like a big responsibility. Are you satisfied with your job?
Well, I'm pretty happy with it for now, especially because my boss is a real legend. He's both encouraging and motivating. I love him. But just because I like the job and I like my boss, this doesn't mean that I'm gonna stay there forever. I always like to step out. I always like to step out of my comfort zone, and who knows where I'll be a year from now.
It's great that you have such a positive outlook. Would you recommend your job to others?
Oh, well, that's a tricky one. It really depends on the person. If someone enjoys hands-on work, problem solving, thinking on their feet, and does not really mind waking up at 5 in the morning, then I would say go for it. But if they prefer a normal 9 to 5 and they would rather have a desk job, this might not be their thing, to be honest.
That's a fair point. Thank you for sharing that insight. Now let's move on to part two. You'll have 1 minute to take notes and prepare. Your topic is describe a movie actor who is very popular in your country. You should say who this actor is, what kinds of movies they act in, what you know about their life, and explain why they are so popular. Your minute starts now. All right, your minute is up. Please go ahead and describe the movie actor.
Well, to be honest, the film industry in my country is not very developed. We do not have many movies or strong tradition of filmmaking. So instead, let me tell you about a Hollywood star, since Hollywood is hugely popular where I live. The movie actor that I'd like to talk about today is Arnold, also known as the Terminator. Well, I haven't met him, but I'd love to meet him if I got the chance. Uh, as for what I know about his life, I watched a few documentaries about his life story. He was born in Austria, as far as I remember, which is a small country in Europe, and that was in the 40s. And then he moved to the States in the 60s as a bodybuilder after winning a lot of bodybuilding competitions. And this apparently caught the attention of the industry insiders who probably saw great potential in him, and then they decided to bring him to the US. And I think after he arrived in the States, he also kept on winning one show after the other. Not only did this help him build a strong reputation in the fitness industry, but this also paved the way for his acting career in Hollywood. And he started acting mainly in action films, mainly due to his impressive physique and build. Now, what made him so popular, apart from his muscular physique, of course, was his broad and thick German accent, which later became one of his most recognizable traits, and still is today. And yeah, that's all about my favorite actor.
Great job on that. Now, let's move on to part three. Do you prefer watching movies at home or at the cinema?
It depends on the movie, actually. If it's a newly released film, I'll go and watch it in the cinema, since newer movies are less likely to be available on Netflix and all the other streaming platforms. However, if a movie is already on Netflix, for example, I'll just stay at home, put my feet up, and relax. That's a no-brainer for me.
That makes sense. Why do you think some people prefer watching movies at home?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, there are a few reasons why many people would prefer to watch films at home. The main one is, in my opinion, the rise of streaming platforms, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and others. Clearly, the more these platforms expand and the more movies they offer, the less motivated people are to go to the cinema. Another reason Another reason could be the high price of tickets. For example, if I had a big family and had to take them out while dealing with these overpriced tickets, I would probably stay home too and just turn on Netflix for them. Last but not least, I would say convenience also plays a big role in this choice.
Absolutely. Comfort is a big factor. Do you think movies today are better than those in the past?
What do you mean by the past here?
I mean, compared to movies from a few decades ago. Do you think today's movies are generally better?
Well, since I was born in the 90s, I cannot really say much about the movies from the 80s and the 90s because I didn't get many chances to watch a lot of them. But if you ask me about movies from this century, I would say they've definitely improved in terms of the visual effects and the overall production quality. However, when it comes to the storylines and the plots, rarely do I find a movie that truly grabs my attention and keeps me on and keeps me on the edge of my seat. Yeah, movies are getting better in certain aspects, but when it comes to storytelling and the plot, I think there is still room for improvement.
That's a good perspective. What do you think makes a movie successful?
As I mentioned, sorry, as I mentioned earlier, a few factors contribute to a film's success. To begin with, the plot is a major factor. That's because the stronger the storyline, the better the chances of success. And in addition to the plot, production quality is also an important factor. The timing of release is also a crucial plays also a crucial role. Apart from these three, I think marketing is also a key factor. You know, the more hype a movie generates before its release, the more people are likely to watch it, which ultimately contributes to its success.
Absolutely. Those are all important factors. Do you think famous actors always make movies better?
No, not necessarily. Famous actors can attract audiences, so they do play a role. But a movie's quality, in general, does not only depend on who's acting. It also depends on the script, the director, the story. So, if an actor's performance was the only thing that would make the difference, then every movie with a superstar would be a hit, which is not the case.
That's a great point. The overall quality and effort of the entire team matter. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. That wraps up our speaking practice.
Thank you. Oh, see? You have to act natural, speak at length, ask the examiner if there's a question that you cannot understand. You should use discourse markers, try to force some high-end vocabulary and complex structures. You have to. Yeah. I would give myself, I wouldn't say a 9, but maybe 8.5 because I made a few mistakes. By the way, you can make mistakes and get a 9, just letting you know. Let's see how I tackle the marking criteria. Let me show you. Let me show you the script. Let's see why I am getting a very good score. So let's talk about the marking criteria now. Yeah? Remember the screenshot that we took regarding the marking criteria? The first one was fluency and coherence. Yeah? Where is it? Let me show you. Here. See? Fluency and coherence, speaking at length. If you notice, well, I spoke at length. When they asked me the questions for part 1, I did not really give a one-word answer. Have you noticed this? When they asked me, oh, Where are you from? Or what do you like most about your hometown? Probably 2 to 3 sentences, not one sentence. Yeah. Has your hometown changed much in recent years? Again, a couple of sentences as well. Yeah. So in section one or in part one, you have to not give a one-word answer. Yeah, you have to speak at length. Obviously, in all the exam, but you have to be careful. Okay. Avoiding hesitation. I avoided hesitation. I was not nervous, to be honest. I did make mistakes, which is normal. Everyone makes mistakes. Watch Barack Obama delivering speeches. He's gonna make mistakes. Yeah, but it's normal. Everyone, when he speaks or when they speak, they do make mistakes. It's okay. Correct your mistake and just continue talking. Okay. I don't think I was hesitant. I was talking like I'm talking to a friend. Discourse markers. You should use discourse markers to tell the examiner what you're going to be talking about. Let's find a few examples. For example, in part one, this is part one, yeah? What do you like most about your hometown? Look here. There are a few things that I like about Maroubra, actually. So this is like a topic sentence, if you notice. There are a few things that I like about Maroubra. This means I'm going to tell you the things that I like about Maroubra. It's like a topic sentence. Look here. In part one, there's not really that much or that many. But let's look at part two, when they asked me about my favorite actor, yeah? Hey, when you say, let me tell you about a Hollywood star, this means you're using a discourse marker. You're telling them what you're going to be talking about. Very easy. The movie actor that I would like to talk about is Arnold. Very clear. Very obvious. Look here. As for what I know about his life, this means now you're going to talk about his life story. This is an introductory phrase. Yeah? It's very similar to saying, regarding his life story or concerning his life story, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, this is a little bit more natural when it comes to speaking. You would say regarding or concerning in writing. You wouldn't really say it in speaking. Look here. Why do you think some people prefer watching movies at home? So I'm mentioning the reasons now. Well, as I mentioned earlier, there are a few reasons why many people would prefer to watch films at home. This is like a topic sentence. So after mentioning this sentence, obviously I'm going to be mentioning the reasons why people prefer to watch movies at home. You know what I mean? See, another reason could be, so these are the discourse markers. I'm using them to tell the examiner what I'm going to talk about, to make it very clear for the examiner to follow me, not to just talk and talk. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to use certain language to guide the examiner when I'm talking, to make it easier for the examiner to follow me. Okay, so that was about discourse markers. Acting natural. I think I did act natural. If you noticed, I used my body language when I was talking. Even though I was not really talking to a normal person, I was talking to the computer. I used my facial expressions as well, my body language. So you have to act natural, as if you're talking to a normal human being. And you are going to talk to a normal human being, yeah? Laugh. You ask them to repeat the question if you cannot understand something. Take poses when you need to, which I took. You know what I mean? As if you're talking to a normal human being. And you will be talking to a normal human being. Now, pronunciation, I'm not going to go through it because I'm not going to go through every single word, obviously, yeah? But when I was talking, I paid attention to the pronunciation, obviously, yeah? Now, lexical resource or vocabulary, I use topic related vocabulary. If you notice, when they asked me about movies and about films, I started talking about Hollywood, directors, storyline, and a lot of words that are related to the topic of movies. A wide range. Every time they would tell me something, I'll try to paraphrase it. If you notice, let me show you. For example, here they're telling me, oh, why do you think some people prefer watching movies at home? Well, as I mentioned earlier, see, I mentioned this earlier, but now I'm trying to paraphrase what I mentioned earlier. There are a few reasons why many people would prefer to watch films at home. I didn't say movies, I said films, even though they mentioned the word movies. Trying to paraphrase the question that I answered previously. Do not repeat the exact same words. Using high-level vocabulary. I tried as much as I could. Like when you say streaming platforms, not many people would know this, yeah? When you say, for example, overpriced, which is a synonym for the word expensive, for example, it's a high-level vocabulary, yeah? When you say, for example, newly released, which means a recent film, yeah? Visual effects is a really good collocation as well. Storyline, which means the story. There's a lot of really good words that I use that are related to the topic of movies. Yeah, it's good. Word choice, I tried to be a little bit formal in the last part, which is part 3. If you noticed, see, in part 3, this is part 3, when they started talking about movies, I started to talk like I'm writing an essay. I would have like a topic sentence, and then I would mention the points, like in addition, furthermore, another point. You know what I mean? If you notice, look here. Last but not least, blah, blah, blah. Another reason, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? However, as I mentioned earlier, apart from these 3, I try to use some sort of formal language, as if I'm writing a paragraph in an essay. Okay? Especially in part 3. I try to be a little bit more formal. Collocations, there's a lot of good collocations that I used. When you say streaming platforms, that's a good collocation. When you say visual effects, it's a good collocation. Production quality, a good collocation. Room for improvement, it's a perfect collocation. I think there's a lot of good collocations that I used, yeah? Phrasal verbs. Can you find any one of the phrasal verbs that I used? I don't think really I used phrasal verbs. Can you pick a phrasal verb that I used? Yeah, put my feet up. Yeah, that's a good idiom. Putting my feet up is a really good idiom. Yeah. Listen, phrasal verbs do come naturally, to be honest with you. I cannot think of any now, but I'm sure that I use some of them. But regarding idioms, listen, putting my feet up, as Tuqa said, is a really good idiom. Where is it? See? You know when you put your feet up? It's a really good collocation. Oh, a really good idiom. I think I used a lot of other idioms as well. Ghufran, can you pick up the other idioms that I used? Who can pick up idioms that I used? Oh, thinking on your feet. Correct. That's correct. See? When you think on your feet, this means you take very quick decisions. That's a really good idiom. Yeah? And also I mentioned something about being on the edge of my seat, I think. See? Yeah, here, see? To be on the edge of your seat, this means to be very excited, or you're anticipating something to happen. Yeah. So let me show you using the dictionary what these idioms mean, just for you to understand. Look here. To relax and do very little. Literally, when you put your feet up, yeah? To relax and do little. After working all week, you deserve to put your feet up. In other words, to relax. So this is the first idiom I used. The second one was to be on the edge of your seat. Edge. See? To be on the edge of your seat, this means to be very excited and giving all your attention to something because you want to know what's going to happen next. That's a really good idiom. We use this idiom a lot when we talk about movies. And the third one was to... What was the third one? A no-brainer. Yeah, we mentioned the word or the phrase no-brainer. If something is a no-brainer to you, this means you take the decision very easily. You don't even have to think about it. See? No-brainer. Something such as a decision that is very easy or obvious. The decision was a complete no-brainer. Yeah. So there is a lot of idioms that I used in this answer that would definitely help me to get a really good score in the lexical resource. And I used a lot of complex structures. I used, if you noticed, the double comparatives a lot. The more, the better. Let me show you. See? The more these platforms expand and the more movies they offer, the less motivated people are to go to the cinema. So this is called the double comparatives. I used it. I think I used it more than once, to be honest. Maybe 3 times. Where else should I use it? There is because the stronger the storyline, the better the chances of success. It's a very complex structure. I used it, I think, somewhere else. So I used double comparatives a lot. And I used inversion in few areas as well. Who noticed me using the inversion? I tried to force it in certain areas. Not only did this help me, blah, blah, blah. Let me show you. Not only. Yeah, look here. I forced it, to be honest, yeah? Because I have it in my mind all the time. So ask me any question, and I would answer using not only. Do you like breakfast? Not only do I like to have breakfast, but I also like to have tea when I have my breakfast. Anything, yeah, just use it. Not only did this help him build a strong reputation, but this also paved the way. Paved the way, by the way, is a strong idiom as well. To pave the way for something, yeah? Pave the way. Look, if something paves the way, it makes the other thing possible, yeah? And I use a wide range of structures. I do not want to go sentence by sentence, but I will leave this in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, so you can look for the structures that I used. Yeah. So every time when I practice, I try to keep the full marking criteria in mind: fluency and coherence, pronunciation, grammatical range and accuracy, and also lexical resource. And when you practice, it becomes like second nature to you. Yeah. That's why ask me any question and I would really give you a really good answer, as long as I have the ideas to speak about. But if you have no ideas, you cannot talk about anything. You know what I mean? So you have to have some sort of ideas, and then you should use the 4 marking criteria to push for a good score. So you have to be familiar with the topics in both writing and speaking. If you have no ideas to talk or to write about, you're not going to be able to speak or to write properly. Toqa is saying, I observed that he was giving you good comments. Will this happen in the exam? She's talking about ChatGPT. Yeah. They are going to respond to your answers. They're not just going to ignore your answers. Obviously, they have to respond to your answers. Now, let me show you how to study speaking by yourself. Are you ready? Urfan, are you ready? Mena is not attending today. She texted me. She told me she's got an emergency. So the energy is down today because Mena is not here. We miss Mena. Maybe you should text her. Tell her to attend. All right, Ghufran. Solo studying. Speak and record. Build your reward. Asma. Speak and record. Build your reward. All right, let's look at this lovely, beautiful, good-looking girl. What do you think she's doing? Let me tell you what she's doing. Listen, if you want to study speaking by yourself or practice speaking by yourself, let me put it this way. It's not easy. Salman. It is difficult. In fact, it is very difficult. Why? Because you have no one to speak to. You have no one to practice with, which makes the situation very difficult. So what should you do to get a good score? A lot of people think that, Isa, I have ChatGPT. Now I can practice all day long. Trust me, you will never practice with ChatGPT. Why? Because you're lazy. When was the last time you practiced speaking with ChatGPT? You never did. It is difficult. Why? Because we lack the motivation. So how to study? Number one, if you have no ideas, there's nothing to talk about. You have to generate ideas. Again, if you're William Shakespeare, and if I were to ask you about global warming, for example, and you had no ideas about global warming, what would you speak about? Nothing. So number one, you have to generate ideas. This means you have to be familiar with the topics. If you have no ideas, there's nothing to talk about. So you have to be familiar with the common topics. And I've got good news for you, actually. When you generate ideas not just for the speaking topics, but also for the writing topics. You can generate ideas for both speaking and writing at the same time. So whatever you practice for in the speaking exam is going to help you in the writing exam. If you practice for the writing exam, this is going to help you in the speaking exam. Because the topics, as I told you, are similar. So you kill two birds with one stone. Number two, study band 9 answers or high scoring sample answers. I want you to get band 9 or band 8 or band 7 answers using ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT in this case to generate some good answers for the speaking exam. And then what I want you to do, I want you to record yourself reading these answers. So get the answers written and then read them out loud. Because we write essays, we read books, But when was the last time you read an essay out loud? Or you read a book out loud? I don't think anyone did. So when you have a good written piece of writing, read it out loud. It sticks in your mind. Do not read it with your eyes. Read it with your mouth, so you can hear it with your ears. Read it out loud. And this is the reason why we have this photo. We have a lady that is reading out loud a script or a band 9 answer. Read the answers out loud. Why? Because when you read it, you're going to listen to it, and then you're going to correct your own mistakes. You are going to hate yourself when you listen to yourself. Oh, Isa, why do I say it like this? You have to read really good answers out loud. And you have to fake the accent. You have to push yourself to say it in a certain way. Yeah? Close the door of your room. It's okay. No one's going to hear you. Yeah? People are going to laugh at you when you say burger, water. But do not let them listen to you. Yeah? Because when you go to Canada or Australia or the US and you say water, this is wrong when you say water. It's wrong. It's not, Isa, I'm a man. What do you mean water? I'm a man. Water. No, it has nothing to do with being a man. Yeah? There's no relationship between saying water and being a man. You can be a man and say water or water. I do not know how to copy the American accent. They say water. But we say water. So you have to record yourself while talking. And trust me, this is how you improve. If you want to get a 6, say water, no problem. And then after you record yourself and listen to yourself, I want you to memorize certain phrases and certain templates. There are certain phrases that you can use for all the topics. For example, when the examiner asks you for your passport, how would you respond? Here you are. Imagine not knowing what to say when the examiner would ask you for the passport, which is a very common phrase. It's going to affect your confidence. There are certain phrases that are going to appear in every exam. Here you are. Well, that's a really interesting question. Let me think about it. I never thought of this question before. There are certain phrases that you have to memorize that you can use in all the exams. In all the exams. So memorize them. It's going to boost your confidence. And also, there are certain structures that you can use in all the exams. If you would rewatch my answer, I used the double comparatives, and I used it all the time. And Asma, Ghufran, Nov, the ones who are enrolled in my courses, they know that I use them all the time, in writing and in speaking. Inversion, not only but also double comparatives, the third conditional, the second conditional. I would give you an answer using these structures because I always have them in my mind. Isa, why didn't you play football today? Not only didn't I play football today, but I also did not even have breakfast today. Anything. I have the templates in my mind. If I were to play football today, I wouldn't be able to sleep well at night. Anything. Ask me any question and I would respond using one of these structures. So you have to have these templates in your mind. At least 3 structures. At least 3 structures. The more you practice, the better you're going to become. See, I just used one of these structures. And then after you do all of these things, then and only then can you time yourself and mimic exam conditions. I just used the inversion, by the way, which is one of my favorite structures. You know? So after you develop your style, then and only then can you mimic and copy the exam conditions. Aligned? You say, why no jokes today? Okay, relax. Why are you serious today? All right. Let's pay attention to the slide. By the way, now we finished the course. Now, let me tell you a few things that are additional to the educational content that I gave you. I want to thank a few students who attended all, like literally, all of the lectures. And I want you to clap for them when I mention their names. Why? Because they taught us a lot about determination, consistency, and discipline. Because we really have to appreciate the people who've been attending all the classes and all the lectures. Yeah? And I'm going to give you, obviously, certificates, completion certificates. All right, thank you. It looks like there's a lot of people texting me. MashaAllah, all of you want certificates, yeah? I'll give you nothing. You have to pay money for the certificate. MashaAllah, you all care now. Okay, no problem. All right. The people who attended, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. You motivated me as well. Without you, this course probably wouldn't be possible, to be honest, yeah? So thank you for staying committed and attending every session. Thank you for showing up consistently and making a steady progress. Thank you for gaining skills and confidence for IELTS success. Thank you for showing the dedication which leads to results. Okay, thank you very much. Let me ask you a question now. Without me pushing you and putting you under pressure, do you think that you would attend roughly around 30 hours of English teaching? Would you do this by yourself? If I was not there, would you do 30 hours by yourself? Yes or no in the comments. Everyone is saying no. It's important. Now I'll tell you, this answer is very important because now I'm going to show you something. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do this without me. Not because I'm special, but because of the sense of community. You are lazy and you know it. Correct? I am lazy. And honestly, without you, I wouldn't teach the course. You motivated me to record the course. Not you, I'm talking to Sarah, so don't say yes. I'm joking. Yeah? Focus. Focus. If you cannot focus on one single thing, you're going to get distracted. You're not going to achieve your goal. Trust me. You don't know how powerful and strong you are. Why? Because your energy is divided by so many things. Your attention is everywhere. Yeah, but we are underestimating our abilities. Focus. Yeah, when you try to do a lot of things at the same time, it's like you chasing a lot of rabbits. You're not going to get any one of them. But when you keep your eyes on the prize, you're going to get the prize. Yeah, trust me. Why am I telling you this? Because trust me, the IELTS is going to open a lot of opportunities for you. If you want to immigrate, which obviously a lot of you want to, or if you want to study overseas, which a lot of you would like to, you can. Why do you think a lot of people are not getting the scores that they want to get? Why? Why do you think this is not happening? Let me tell you why. It's one reason: lack of motivation. A lot of people think that, you know what, I can study online. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. Okay, go watch them. I can use ChatGPT to study. Okay, study using ChatGPT. Yeah? You will never do. You know why? No motivation. No motivation. Why have you been attending this course? Why? Why? Ask yourself, why? You see me, you see Salman, you see Ali, you see Dalal, you see Asma, you feel like, I'm not alone. Looks like everyone wants to study for the IELTS. So I put you under pressure. And guess what? I do put myself under pressure as well. Because trust me, if you were not there, I would never deliver the course. You put me under pressure, I put you under pressure. So it's a win-win situation. The fact that you have a lot of materials online and you can do it by yourself, yes, that's true. Everything is online. By the way, if you want to study rocket science, you can study it on YouTube. Do you know this? You can. But will you? You will not. Why? No motivation. No motivation, no clear sense of purpose. But when you have the community with you, when you have Salman and Ali and Isa and Dalal and Asma and Minna and Ghufran and Abrar and everyone, you feel like, you know what? Man, I miss them. I wanna see what's happening. So you would study. So Isa, why are you telling us all of these kind of things? I'm telling you all of these kind of things because I want to tell you about the services that we do offer. Isa, are you trying to sell us? Yes, but focus with me. A lot of people would do the IELTS exam for more than once. And Sarah is one of them. She texted me on Instagram a few days ago. Do you know how much the IELTS exam is? $300, correct? $300. A lot of people would not study for the IELTS exam. They would just do it. Oh, you know what? $300, let me just try my luck. They would go there and they would get a 4 maybe, or 3.5. Yeah? And then it doesn't work. And then they would do it again. They'd get a 4 or 5. It doesn't work. It's a waste of money and a waste of time. So if you attended this course and you're very happy with the course, that's good. If you feel like you have the sense of motivation and you can study by yourself, go and do it. Because you can if you have that sense of motivation and commitment. But I can guarantee you that you're not going to study by yourself. It's difficult. Let me tell you what we offer on our website. Yeah? So you think about it. We have comprehensive courses. What do I mean by comprehensive courses? We have bundles. Each bundle has 5 courses. 1 course for each skill. Yeah? 1 for writing, 1 for speaking, 1 for reading, 1 for listening. Each course is separate. Yeah? And we also have a personalized study plans. For example, we would give you a test to test your level, and you would tell us what is the score that you're aiming for. And based on your current level and the score that you want to achieve, I have like a calculator where I would tell you what to do within this period of time. Yeah? Based on your current score, your target score, and the time that you have. It would make you feel a little bit more committed. And on our website, we also do have downloadable PDFs and ebooks as well. Yeah, and I'll show you some of them now if you're interested. This thing is new. I introduced it recently. So Ghufran, Dalal, Asma, and Nof. I know when you enrolled, they were not there, but now they are there. I started to introduce this recently. I would have like a bi-weekly live workshops with my students to do technically very similar to what we're doing now. Yeah. Uh, Solving problems and writing exams and reading exams with my students live. Yeah. Once every 2 weeks to make them feel like they're part of a community. Yeah. So you're not studying by yourself. And also, I started to introduce speaking and writing assessment. Yeah. So if you watch the full course for the writing, I would give you one writing assessment. And if you watch the full course for the speaking, I would give you a speaking assessment. In other words, you would speak to me live on Zoom, and I would give you your score and I would give you feedback. And the same thing regarding the writing. You would write something and I would give you a score. Your score is 6.5 or 5.5. Okay, so you know what your score is before you go to the exam. If you're getting the benefit out of this course, good for you. Watch it on YouTube and do your own practice. I'm happy for you. Okay, keep doing it. But if you need more help, if you feel like you need more help, I'm here to help you. So I would give you 20% discount of all my bundles. 2 bundles. If you do not know, I'll show you now on the website. I have 2 bundles. We have the academic bundle and the general bundle. And each bundle has 5 courses. One for reading, one for listening, one for speaking, one for writing task 1, one for writing task 2. So 5 courses. In total, there is 50 hours, 50 hours of content. And these 50 hours are not like live. No, they are edited like a lot of content. Yeah, I'm not going to be having tea during the class or going to the bathroom. Full on. Yeah. For you to be able to get the discount, you go to the website. When you check out, you use this word, Lifesaver. And now I want to show you on our website what we offer. Okay? So this is our website, courses.topsportacademy.com. I would go to the academic bundle, for example. Let me show you what the courses include. Yeah. So we have a bundle. In each bundle, we have 5 courses. As I told you, 1 course for each skill. The writing obviously has 2 skills because we have writing task 1 and writing task 2. 53 hours of video. These are pre-recorded videos. So these ones are not live. Yeah? And you have more than 50 PDFs. You know, when you, for example, study the task 1 report, you can download it and print it out. Task 2, you can download it. Yeah? More than 500 lessons. 500. Each lesson, like I make it short. Like I do not make very long lessons. Each lesson is roughly 5 minutes, for example. Why? To make it easier for you to navigate through the lessons. Okay? And you will get 2-year access. 2 years, 24 months. Honestly, most of the students that are enrolled, they finish within 3 to 6 months, maximum 6 months. But it's 2 years just for you to feel a little bit safe. You know what I mean? 2 years access. And these are the courses. See? The listening. We have 41 reviews. The academic. The essay writing. The report writing. And also the speaking. This is me, by the way. That's William Shakespeare. And this is the bonus. You'll get a customized study plan based on your score and the target score that you want to get. Speaking and writing assessment as well. 1 speaking and 1 writing. But you have to finish the videos first. You're not allowed to give me a piece of writing if you're not watching all the videos. You have to watch all the videos. So my feedback when I give you makes sense. And these are some ebooks that I created. Some of them I haven't finished yet, but I'm working on them. Band 9 essays, like a small ebook. High-end vocabulary. I will tell you how to use high-end vocabulary. Instead of using important, you can use essential. Instead of using advantages, you can use pros and so on and so forth. Also, Band 9 reports. Very similar to what I wrote with you, but it would be probably more than 10. Speaking and writing speaking topics as well. I will show you this ebook. I'm working on it now. but I'm trying to add a lot of photos and all of these kind of things. Yeah. And we will have catch-ups. Let me show you a few minutes of this video. 1 second. This is the testimonial that I got from my students. Let me show you 1 second. Every time I feel bad, I would turn this video on and I would feel a little bit more energized. Yeah, I would feel like I have a sense of purpose. Let me share it with you. 1 second. Let me play a few minutes of this video, okay?
بيوم من الأيام على الانستغرام تطلع لي بيج اسمها توب سبوت أكاديمي، بتقدم كورسز عن الآيلتس. حكيت يعني ما بضر إنه أشوفها.
التحقت بالدورة، كانت أكثر من مفيدة، بيّنت الامتحان بكل تفاصيله.
كان هذا ممكن يعني the best decision I've ever made بحياتي.
أكثر إشي عجبني صراحة إنه الكورس كان مرتب، واضح، مباشر، والماتيريال كتير بروفيشنال.
The good thing about the course is if you have a long, tiring day, you feel drained, you still don't want to miss the classes.
Isa has taught me many practical and linguistic techniques that I now use in my academic writings.
The teacher Isa Al-Mzayani has been following a great ways to communicate information to us, and I really appreciate his efforts.
أول شيء يحتوي على ماتيريال رائعة جدا، والأهم من ذلك هو الانستركتور الأخ عيسى يمتلك خبرة عملية وعلمية رائعة وعظيمة.
You will learn with joy, your English level will be developed spontaneously, and you will be definitely satisfied of your result.
توب سبوت أكاديمي قدم لي خطة واضحة بسيطة وشاملة، فهمني شو هو الامتحان وكيف بيندرس جزء بجزء.
مستر عيسى بيعطيك أسرار، أنا بحب أسميها أسرار عيسى للآيلتس، ما بتلاقيها عند أي حدا ومش أي حدا بيحكي لك إياها ولا بيعلمك إياها. أسلوبه كتير سهل، كتير حلو، بيرسخ بالمخ المعلومة.
طريقة توصيل عندك تشد الشخص وتوصل المعلومة بكل سلاسة.
His courses was very helpful, enjoyable and fun.
كيف مبسوطة.
I took الجريدز اللي بدي اياهم. الأوفرول كان 6.5.
The instructor Isa is not only teaching us to answer the questions, but he also teaching us how to think about the answers with very options.
Mr. Isa gave us the information very easy way and in funny way.
This course was professional, comprehensive and really unique.
It was very enjoyable and useful. I got the benefit from every session.
And Isa is a very thoughtful teacher. He always tries to deliver the information in the simplest way so we can all get the point.
It was really very accurate, to the point, and also very organized.
صراحة من أفضل الكورسات اللي بلاقيها بحياتي.
It was very informative, efficient, enjoyable. It's really super fun.
It will really help you to get an excellent score in the exam. It is super helpful.
He's a very helpful teacher. He's amazing. He is enthusiastic, not only for you to get high grades in IELTS, but also for you to be good in English.
Top Spot helped me to solve all my problems step by step.
Top Spot Academy guided me to be ready to the exam. خاصة إنه معهم المدرب عيسى اللي التعلم معه ممتع واللي بيصنع جو عائلي بالمحاضرات اللي بيعطيها.
Top Spot Academy واحد من أفضل الويب سايت اللي بيساعدك تنجح بامتحان الآيلتس بالدرجة المطلوبة وتطور مهاراتك.
A very kind instructor full of passion, ready to share all of his information and drills with love and knowledge.
Top Spot Academy courses are the most educative, informative, beneficial, interesting and useful courses and everything you search for, which makes them one of the best courses in the world.
How teacher Isa taught us and gave us a good strategies which help us in many things, and I really appreciate his efforts.
He is friendly. When you talk to him, you feel like you are talking to a brother or to an older friend. He is really helpful. He is highly helpful. You will find him always here, answering your questions and telling what you should do.
Thank you, Isa Al-Mzayani. You are really a professional and unique instructor. Really, it's from the depth of my heart. Thank you so much.
He's so flexible, kind, and brilliant. I don't think I'll ever forget the things that he taught me.
It was more than wonderful experience with the amazing teacher Isa Al-Mzayani.
Isa respect every single student and that is awesome.
كانت مثرية جدا. زادت المخزون المفردات اللي عندي، خلتني انتبه لنقاط الضعف الموجودة وأطورها وأشتغل عليها وأتجاوزها.
More than professional, to be honest. He gave me the confidence, especially in speaking English.
Simply, he's the source of my inspiration.
حسيت بفرق كتير واضح توب سبوت أكاديمي وعند مستر عيسى المزيني.
The instructor was amazing. أحب أسميها Top Lightning Academy because you are lighting our future.
I learned the most effective strategies about the IELTS exam that helped me to improve my score.
It was one of the best. It was amazing. الكورس كان كتير حلو. Straight to the point. وبنفس الوقت it was fun.
Also, the lecture is not boring or long. It will not take your time if you are studying or working. Wow.
The instructor teaches simple and smart techniques on solving all the questions.
With Top Spot Academy, I learned how to be well prepared and confident with many exercises about every question type in each skill.
It's so beneficial and the courses there are so helpful to get the score that you are looking for.
The teacher was just like a funny friend and his way of teaching is very smooth and he knows how to get exactly to the point.
He teach me how can we think and every tip to solve the question.
His course is really amazing and thanks a lot, Ais.
He was very professional one, hard worker and also patient.
الكورس كان comprehensive, communicative, reliable.
وأكيد ما بنسى الانستركتور عيسى المزيني اللي بيسهل الأمور وبيعطي المعلومة بطريقة كتير سلسة وبتوصل كتير بسرعة.
عيسى المزيني اللي بيعطيك أساليب واستراتيجيات بتخليك تتفادى أغلبية الأخطاء اللي بيوقعوا فيها أكثر الطلاب.
توب سبوت أكاديمي الطريقة الجميلة أو الوحيدة اللي ممكن أنت تحضر فيها لامتحان الآيلتس.
Mr. Isa doesn't forget you after giving the course, and also he's always ready for any question and consultations.
The one who creates this environment is the instructor Isa Imozaini. We always laugh at his jokes.
It was truly unique course.
The teacher is really helpful and collaborating person.
He's very helpful and he is very good at explaining everything, and the way he links the information, you can't forget them.
I couldn't find a better place such Top Spot. They are really Top Spot with the amazing teacher Isa.
This academy helped me so much. His way in teaching was so helpful.
خلتني أطور من المهارات اللي كانت أصلاً مش موجودة عندي أو بدها شغل. بالإضافة لأنها كانت جداً ممتعة مع المدرس عيسى. كان هو شخصية مرحة جداً وبيشرح بأسلوب شيق.
نتيجتي كانت في امتحان الآيلتس أكاديميك هي 7. فيما يخص عيسى المزيني أستاذ هذا الكورس ومقدمه، هو جدا متمكن من الموضوع، نحفي وخفيف دم وبخليك دائما متحمس للحصة وعم تستناها ستني. كل إشي واضح، في أشياء بتلاقيها عند الأستاذ عيسى ما بتلاقيها عند غيره. 10 باي 10.
By the way I got 7 بالآيلتس، وممكن هذا السكور يعني ما كنت أجيبه إذا ما أخذت الكورسز اللي بيعطيها عيسى المزيني ب Top Spot Academy.
I highly recommend you guys to participate in this course if you want to get a high score in the IELTS exam.
I can't reward him for his support and encouragement. He's the best. Thank you, Isa. Thank you from the deep of my heart.
I am so appreciate for what you are doing.
Isa Limzaini is the best.
Due to Top Spot Academy, I was able to find the best for me, and now it's your turn.
I really appreciate what he do. علمناني هيك الشغل يبقى perfect.
I recommend Top Spot Academy.
Thank you, Top Spot Academy.
I highly recommend Top Spot Academy.
Thank you, Top Spot Academy.
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 توب سبوت أكاديمي.
Top Spot Academy.
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 Top Spot Academy. Top Spot Academy.
Top Spot Academy.
Top Spot.
Top Spot Academy.
Top Spot Academy.
Thank you so much.
شكراً.
Thank you very much, Isa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
شكرا لكم جميعا.
Thank you.
I wish you the best. Thank you so much. Thank you, Isa, for everything.
Thank you so much, teacher.
كل التوفيق للجميع وشكرا لكم.
Thank you so much, Isa. Thank you so much, so much, so much. I would have never done it without you.
Top Spot Academy is the best.
Remember the days, Ghafran? No, yeah, remember? You cried. Ghafran cried. It makes me feel like I have a sense of purpose, like I'm good at a certain thing that I want to keep on working and improving. But anyway, I showed you this video for you to understand, especially the ones who were not my previous students, just to know these are my previous students. These are the scores that they got. This is what they think about the course. I really do enjoy what I do, and that makes me happy, to be honest. Yeah. So this course is for you, or this bundle is for you. Obviously, if you can understand me now while I'm talking, this means it's going to help you. If you're at an intermediate level, if you want to get a good score, like not a 6 or a 6.5, if you want to get a 7 and above, it's going to help you a lot. If you're an English teacher, it's going to help you as well, because it's going to help you teach the IELTS. Yeah. So this is all about the bundle that I have. Inshallah, you get a 7. Amar, inshallah, you get a 7. Yeah. And still, if you're not really ready to enroll in the course, put in your email here. I try to make these kind of memes as well. You can read it. Try to make it a little bit funny. Yeah? In the speaking exam, your accent does not matter. What matters is your pronunciation, like I told you. Excuse me? Yeah, I have a lot of these memes. If you subscribe here, you'll get a lot of tips and tricks, yeah, on email. Yeah. All right, so that's all about the courses and what I have to offer. So if you have any questions about the course, about the bundles, how I can help you, please feel free to ask these questions now, so everyone can get the benefit. Yeah. Ask, even if you're not gonna enroll, just ask. So, you know what I mean? You have it in your mind. You don't have to enroll. So Tabarak Ali is asking, I am a beginner in English. Are these courses suitable for me? Well, beginner, if you're a beginner, you wouldn't be able to even ask me this question. But if you're a beginner, no, it's not for you. These courses are not for beginners. These courses are for the ones who are at an intermediate level and they want to be advanced, or they want to be upper intermediate. So if you're a beginner, it's not for you. No. Shuruk is asking, do you offer any supplementary courses and mock tests? Yeah, Shuruk, we do offer the mock tests. As I told you previously, you will be assessed for the speaking and the writing sections live. I'm going to give you feedback and a score. So this is technically a mock test. And regarding reading and listening, during our live workshops that we do on a bi-weekly basis, I do force the students to answer the questions while I'm live. Like, they are technically mock tests. You know what I mean? So I will be offering mock tests, obviously. Yeah. Salman, how can I get the offer? Salman, you already have the website and you have the code, which is Lifesaver. If you want to get the offer, Salman, the price is going to go up. Salman, I'm letting you know from now. So if you want to get the offer, do it now. You like my sales technique? Salman, you should do this with your patients. Listen, I used to work in sales, so I know how to sell. But I'm selling something genuine at least. Salman. All right, another question. Can I pay with my local currency? I'm from Egypt. Rania, yeah, of course you can pay with your local currency. When you go to the website and then you buy the course, it's going to tell you to put in your credit card. Put in your credit card, regardless of the currency that you have. In your credit card, you would be able to pay. But you have to have a credit card. Yeah. Tuqa is saying, when will the course start? Tuqa, it's a good question. Tuqa, the course is not going to start at any time. The course is pre-recorded. However, we have bi-weekly meetings. So regardless, when you enrolled in the course, you're going to join the bi-weekly meetings. However, I'm going to give you a study plan for yourself. But even if you enrolled maybe a month from now or maybe 2 weeks from now, you're gonna be part of the live workshops. So the course does not start at a specific point in time and it doesn't finish at a specific point in time. It's an ongoing course. However, you have to stick your study plan that I give you, which I'm going to be emailing you. Is it clear, Tuqa? I know you're not going to enroll, but it's okay. Yeah? Noor Kareem is saying, what if I'm not happy with the course? Do you offer refunds? No, I've never seen your face. See, the ones who are always shy, they ask a lot of questions. Listen, with our courses, we offer, I don't know if you've seen this on the website, it's no questions asked refunds. Within 7 days, if you're not happy with the quality of the course, obviously this means you haven't been attending our live workshops. If you're not happy, you're going to get the refund, no questions asked. Just email us your order ID and we're going to refund you the entire amount. Yeah. So we offer just for the bundles, by the way, not for the individual courses. For the bundles, we offer no questions asked refund. Okay. So if you feel like, but what is the quality of the course? I do not know. Full refund for you. Yeah? Any questions? Any other questions? I'm lazy. You look like you're lazy, I know. Ghufran, we are so lucky to have you. You're a gift from Allah to save our future. Oh. And you did change our future. Thank you from the depth of my heart. Thank you, Ghufran. Ghufran, you are also a gift from Allah because you motivated me a lot. Ghufran was one of the founding members of the academy, to be honest. We started the academy with 0 members and now we have more than 700 students. And Ghufran, when she started to attend, we had zero members. You remember Ghufran? Yeah, Ghufran and Noof. So thank you very much. Yeah. Sarah is saying, are you the only admin on Instagram? No, I have access to my Instagram account and there is also 2 admins that they have access to the Instagram account. Yeah, so whenever you ask a question, there will be someone to answer your questions, Sarah. Yeah. Amar is saying, I'm also a slow reader. How can I fix that? You have to keep reading, Amar. If you don't practice, nothing is going to get fixed. Listen, improving your language is difficult. It's not easy. I know that we have AI, we have ChatGPT, and we have all of these kind of things. But if you do not put in the work, it's not going to happen. Well, Isa, but I can ask ChatGPT to correct my essay. Go ask ChatGPT. And tell me how ChatGPT is going to correct your essay. Trust me, it's not going to make sense. I tried it multiple times. Because I want to save time. I want to save time as well. Yeah, it doesn't work. Try. Ask ChatGPT to talk to you as a speaking examiner. It's not going to work. Yeah? Listen, our problem is not the resources. The resources are there. Our problem is laziness. Our problem is procrastination. Our problem is lack of motivation. This is our problem. Because everything that you want to study is available online. Everything is online. But go and watch everything. Any other mistakes? Any other questions? Yeah, and by the way, let me show you the some of the ebooks that I've been working on. Yeah. So this is an ebook that I've been working on. I haven't finished it completely, but it's one of the I have 2 ebooks that I've been working on. Popular speaking topics, an ebook, and also the what is it? Task 2 Ideas Bank. Yeah. So in Task 2 Ideas Bank, and obviously this is part of the course, yeah. What are the advantages and disadvantages of different topics, yeah? So for example, extending retirement age, robots in the workplace, overpopulation, aging population, blah, blah, blah. So these are good ideas for you to practice, yeah, to generate ideas. And This is for speaking and writing, yeah? For sports, different question times, for education. This is what I'm working on, yeah? This is for speaking, yeah? These are the topics and sample questions, yeah? This is what I'm going to be working on. Yeah, it's going to be finished in the coming few days, yeah? All right, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Nof. Appreciate it. I'll send you the certificate. Thank you, Mena, for knowing us, for attending all the courses, all the videos, all the sessions. Asma, thank you. Smile. Learn to smile. Yeah. All right, the ones who bought the course, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We will get in touch with you now, and we will send you the test to test your English, and then we're gonna send you the study plan. Thank you very much, my brothers, my sisters. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to ask me any question on Instagram. You don't have to buy the course to be friends with me. It's okay. All right, thank you very much. I love you all, and let me know if you have any questions on Instagram. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You have a lovely evening. Thank you. I love you all. I love you all. Thank you very much.